Batman's Detective Comics. Also, Hawkman the Winged Lawman, issue 455. A suspense shocker. Heart of a Vampire. Horror lurks by the side of a sparsely traveled road between Gotham City and New Carthage, as a maniac's tortured soul and blind hunger concern the Batman, with a terrifying search for the heart of a vampire. It begins miles beyond the pounding of the city in the hours before dawn as the car showed no signs of overheating, Alfred. But let's check the water level. I can't see if it is dry or not in the dark, Master Bruce. But I suggest it would be prudent to add water to the radiator anyway. Perhaps the house there on the rise. It seems quite boarded up and deserted, sir. Do you suppose we would be justified to break in? I do. But as Bruce Wayne fits his massive shoulder against the rust eaten bolt of the door, the light blinding. My eyes can barely adjust to. I say, whoever lived here had impeccable taste in furniture, except for some rather bizarre taste in lamps and coffee tables. Very peculiar. Alfred, my man, we've stumbled upon an antique. Probably one of those first solar lamps ever built. Ingenious the way it's rigged up to store the rays of the sun and focus them down on. No, my scientific curiosity seems to have done in this device for the moment. Maybe you could go back to the car and get that flashlight up here, Alfred. Yes, sir. Well, I see about finding some water. But the light of the sun no longer shines perpetually on the oblong chest, or on the hideous creature stretching awake after uncounted years of lying dormant and hungry. Odd. The pumps have been capped. There's no running water. Of what use, sir, would running water be to a vampire? Huh? But a momentary gasp is all the reaction there is from Bruce Wayne, before his own special compulsion drives him almost unwillingly back into the shadows. And there lunges forth the Batman. Ah, you seek to scare me with fearsome mortal vestments. You will soon know the utter frustration of trying to thwart the designs of Gustav the Cobra. The Cobra? I'll figure out where I've heard that name before once I grab these crossbeams of the door I fell through and see whether this is a vampire or just a very strong lunatic. Ah, the cross! I can't abide that charm. Get it away before I. Master Bruce, the flashlight batteries no longer seem to. Oh my! Your bungling manservant has given me a reprieve, doomed mortal. But as the nightmare creature bounds across the floor, the Batman plucks up a pointed beam of the broken cross, and confident that this is indeed one of the undead vampires who walk the earth, he takes deadly aim at where a thirsty heart should hang suspended. I suppose, my dear juicy mortal, that a wooden stake piercing my heart would kill me, if you could find my heart. Alfred, this way. The creature doesn't seem to be behind us. I see no reason not to worry about that until we're temporarily safe here in the attic, because I believe I've deduced who that vampire used to be. That spectre was once a man? He used the name Gustav the Cobra, who, if memory serves, was a rather brilliant physician a century ago, until he was dismissed from Cornell Medical School for insisting that hearts could be transplanted from one body to another. The world wasn't ready for ideas like that, but stories persisted that he was using whatever means were necessary to continue his experiments into the mechanics of the human heart. It's been theorized that the Cobra discovered remarkable things about the body that are still unknown today, before he disappeared. From what we've seen here, it seems impossible that one night he picked the wrong grave to open, the grave of a vampire whose ranks he joined. Meanwhile, the entity which once was Dr. Gustav the Cobra pads noiselessly through his house, realizing where his quarry is gone as a fiendish plan constructs itself in his thoughts. The only logical assumption we can make is that our host is an actual vampire with such a creature's powers. That would include the power to change forms to mesmerize, as well as to command the less noble animals like lizards, snakes, bats, possibly to transmute inanimate objects to life. As a physician, he also seems to have discovered how to place his heart, his weakest point, elsewhere in his body than his chest. So, what I will try to do is give him a good fight to get his heart beating heavily, and then try to find where in his body the heartbeat is coming from. So that I'll be able to. Alfred, is there something bothering? These bats, the cobra. Out of my way, physical one. I'll feast on you when my strength is replenished by the thinner blood coursing through this aging mortal's veins. In an blurring sweep of motion, the dark cowled Avenger scoops up a bow lying among the attic junk, crack it across the assailant's skull. You want my attention, do you, fool? If you assist upon it, then yours will be the blood that brings strength to my too long sleeping form, and yours will be the terror of having life drained from your body drop by agonizing drop. Before the Batman's astonished eyes, the monster reaches into a painted canvas as if it were a pool of water and draws out a weapon with which to join in a joust. I can't help to overcome him, even in his weakened, bloodless state, but I may be able to excite him. In the next moment, there emerges an enraged beast of a Batman, mercilessly pummeling the monster. But the vampire merely resists, indulging his foe, laughing at him in anticipation. Still can't feel any pulse or heartbeat, but the ticking of that old clock getting louder. The more he exerts himself, there'll only be one chance to be right. You've tried that little trick already, mortal, but I don't suppose you would put down that wooden arrow and accept the and the clock. I transplanted my heart into the clock. It made me indestructible, but the clock wasn't. Sir, do you suppose the car will start up now? Indian summer's early morning heat leaves the house shimmering like a wisp in fading memory, much as the road shimmers as it snakes on to the towers of Gotham, where reality awaits. Hawkman. Past midnight in the Midway City Museum, Hawkman and Hawkgirl hold a council of war against crime. A supercriminal who uses Hawkman's offensive tactics for his own defense. What strategy can the Winged Wonder come up with to win this battle of the backfiring weapons? First time I came upon this thief, he transformed my Ned into a flyaway escape vehicle and caused a lamppost to blast me with a beam of solid light. Next time, he turned my lasso into a helicopter and sheared off my wings. Curiously enough, Hawkgirl, his mysterious power seems to work only when he's in danger of being caught. As if it operated just to protect him? Exactly. His attempt to plunder the government printing office was badly handled, but his escape from me was ingenious. Say, that gives me an idea. Since he's able to make ordinary weapons backfire on me, we'll fight him with something extraordinary. That ancient bronze mirror? We'll polish it and one other to a brilliant shine. This capture will be made with mirrors, along with this primitive musical instrument. A bull roarer? I get your strategy now, and I like it. Meanwhile, Chester McCann, the crook under discussion, is making his own plans. How come? How come? When I'm on the lam, nothing can stop me. Whatever weapon is used against me, I turn in my favor. But when I try to pull a job, zingo, I'm a two-bit crook again. Which gives me an idea. Since my power works only when I'm in a jam, all I gotta do is pick a place to rob that's easy to get into, but which is tough to get out of with the loot. I know the perfect place, even though it's filled with guards the way this rooming house is with cockroaches. But the guards won't bug me, and neither will Hawkman if he sticks his beak in again. Next day, in the vast halls of the Midway Art Museum, those paintings would bring a bundle, but it'd be too big a job to get them out of the frames. But there's more to art than just colored canvases. This exhibit proves a goldsmith can be as great an artist as a print painter. I may not know beans about art, but I know what I like. The bread I'll get for this gold. Freeze, or your guns will go boom. Go ahead, shoot. Only instead of a boom, it'll be a bust. As the amazing thief runs out of the museum. There he is, Hawk Girl. Got here in time thanks to our special police alarm that reported the trouble. Well, if it ain't old Featherpuss again. Brought along your chick, too, to help you this time, huh? Okay, I'll let her make the first move. Surrender, or I'll use these mirrors. Ha! What can they? You'll see, or rather, you won't see. Ah! It's reflecting sunlight in my eyes, and that blasted harpy keeps blinding me no matter which way I go. Time to turn on my getaway power. I'll pull up my ears, heighten my hearing, use it like a radar to find my way to safety without seeing. Just as I anticipated, with ears that large, he'll be easy prey for the bull roarer. Hey! Can't think, head splitting. This is one weapon that won't backfire against me. Nice work. Used against his super ears, that grating noise nearly drove him insane. Let's get him to our lab for some probing. Shortly, when a Thanagarian potion has been administered to the prisoner, who are you? Chester McCann. But Chester McCann did not do those remarkable things you witnessed. That voice, it's different. I'm this man's descendant, living in the 47th century. With my advanced mental control, I have traversed time to live in the brain of my ancestor. While inhabiting his body, I could not allow any harm to come to it, lest I alter the fate of future generations. Now that he is safely in custody, I will not use my advanced science against you again. I return now to my own era. I'm back. What a remarkable experience. Professor McCann, while you were gone, I did research on your 20th century ancestor. It seems the circumstances of Chester McCann's capture caused him to study prison science in prison. Upon his release, he became a technician, a brilliant one. In succeeding generations, many of his descendants have been scientists. Curious, what I did influenced my ancestor's life and resulted in my becoming the foremost scientist of this day. The end.